Good evening and welcome to Estuary TV News. A former Cleethorpes lorry driver is set to be recognised for his efforts helping elderly people stay warm and healthy in North East Lincolnshire. And I'm joined on the sofa by Gordon Cummins and Andrew Jacklin, who plan to drive vintage and classic tractors together with other enthusiasts from Blackpool to Cleethorpes as part of the Grainthorpe Vintage and Classic Tractor Road Run, all in aid of a good cause. But first, here's James Dunn with the news headlines.
Hello, in the headlines today, companies gather to discuss wind energy after the announcement of a £310 million investment in Hull. And a former lorry driver gone green is recognised for his work as a fuel champion by Parliament. Following the news that industry leader Siemens is coming to Hull and East Yorkshire, key speakers from the offshore wind industry gathered in Scunthorpe to share ideas and practices. It's hoped that other companies will now follow in the company's footsteps and locate here, but Team Humber Marine Alliance say it must be attractive to future investors to guarantee this supply chain. And that is why they have come together at this event to show solidarity and work together.
Particularly on some contracts when you've got small companies, we need small companies to work together, combine their capabilities and strengths, and that should be a good offer for some of the bigger companies. Well, when companies come to invest in a region like Siemens, they took a look at the geography, but they also look at the supply chain, what the skills levels are, whether that be in terms of the capabilities of the companies or the future supply chain. Where are the future employees going to come from?
The chair of the government's Public Accounts Committee is coming to Grimsby to give a talk on saving the public money. Labour MP Margaret Hodge is charged with holding the civil service to account and scrutinising how public money is spent. But she's made a name for herself publicly grilling representatives of multinational corporations on the amount of tax they pay here in Britain. Next Friday, April the 4th at 7 p.m, she'll be holding a talk on saving the public money at Grimsby Institute.
Yes, her title that she chose is Saving the Public Money, and these are times of austerity. They're tough times for everybody. Everybody's looking at their the cost of living. We reckon that people are all £1,600, families are £1,600 worse off over the last 4 or 5 years. And she's there to make sure that, as we would with our own finances, you know, you're getting the very best deal. The focus on getting better value for money is what it's about, and I think that's always on the top of an agenda for anybody who's in an audit position. That's what it is. It's the top audit position in Parliament, and she's held that with great distinction. We're very fortunate to have her coming because Austin Mitchell, our MP, is on that committee and has invited her personally.
Tickets are available on the door. Hull City may take legal action if the FA rejects their plan to change the club's name to Hull Tigers, according to Vice Chairman Ihab Alam. Speaking on Radio Humberside, he said he and his father Assem were doing what they believed was best for the club they've invested more than £70 million into. But the issue has divided supporters, as we found out when we hit the streets of Hull.
It had been named Hull Tigers in 1904 and he wanted to change it to Hull City. Would people say, oh no, we've been Hull Tigers since 1904, let's not change it to Hull City? It doesn't matter, it's just a name.
Obviously got him in the Premier League, got him financially stable, and I don't think it's very much to ask. It's only a little thing to ask really for what he's done for the city.
I don't think it's good. I think they should keep with the same name. I think. That's me.
He saved the club, didn't he? So in saving the club, surely it's he can name it what he wants.
It's Hull City. It's always been Hull City from the start, so I don't understand why they need to change it.
It should live as it is. Absolutely live as it is.
Why is that?
After all these years, it's all, well, that's what it should be, innit? Hull City.
Yeah.
I ain't really bothered. They're playing that well. I ain't bothered what they do.
I don't know, it's a bit daft. It sounds like a cheerleading team.
North Lincolnshire Council is to take the first steps to build the £11 million Humber University Technology College in Scunthorpe. In January, the government gave the go-ahead for the college, which will create 70 jobs and provide specialist skills and engineering in renewables. The Carlton Street car park will close from Monday until April 21st while engineers examine the ground conditions. Marcus Walker, North Lincolnshire Council's Assistant Director for Planning and Regeneration, said it marks the start of an exciting opportunity for young people. Former Cleethorpes lorry driver David Maguire is set to receive an award at the House of Commons for his services to help those in fuel poverty. Mr Maguire visits elderly residents in North East Lincolnshire to educate them on keeping warm, staying healthy and reducing heating bills.
I enjoy doing this. You don't think about getting a reward for it. And the way they've told me, they said, can we put you in for an award? I went, yeah, okay. Then I found out I've got to go to the House of Commons. Well, that was a bit of a shock. You know, my missus just can't believe it. She can't believe that when we got married 22 years ago, when I was a lorry driver, that I'd ever be doing anything like this.
Well, that's all from me today. I'll see you next time. Bye.
A Cleethorpes man is to be recognised for his work helping elderly people in North East Lincolnshire. David Maguire will soon travel to the House of Commons to receive an Energy Hero Award after visiting residential and sheltered living accommodation around the borough, talking to people about the importance of keeping warm as well as offering tips and tricks on how to keep energy bills down. Reporter Richard York caught up with him in Immingham.
A Cleethorpes man is to receive a Heat Heroes Award at the House of Commons for his services to the community to help prevent fuel poverty. Former lorry driver David Maguire is just one of only 14 people from across the UK to be nominated for the award, which recognises his efforts to deliver energy advice and information to help people living in sheltered accommodation.
I started last year, and what happened was I do voluntary work for the Older People's Health and Wellbeing Programme, and they asked me if I wanted to become an energy champion. I think it's important because it gives people advice on how to save money, how to save electricity. And I look at it this way, why pay them the money when it's better off in your pocket?
Since David started last year, he has spoken to more than 720 people at 30 different locations about keeping warm as well as keeping bills down. He has been visiting sheltered housing projects like St Andrew's Court in Immingham.
Some of it can rub off, yes, but at 82 you seem to know everything, don't you? Well, you think you know everything, let's put it that way.
Learned quite a bit in the short time I was able to attend.
When I go out to these places, I start off with excess winter deaths. They've gone up from 27,000 to 30,300 in 1 year, and that's in England alone. The room does go quiet. It makes them think of why they've got to keep themselves warm and healthy. And this is why I think it's such a success, because they're getting people to talk to everybody. Communication can save a lot of money.
Organisers of the Grainthorpe Vintage and Classic Tractor Road Run, Gordon Cummings and Andrew Jacklin, are here as they get set to raise money for the Wish Upon a Star charity for terminally ill children and the Grainthorpe Village Association. So I'll start with you, Gordon. What is it that you're doing?
Well, this is the 11th year that the Grainthorpe Village Association has organised a tractor rally, a tractor road run. For the local people of the area, they bring out their tractors, they start from Louth and they end up in Grainthorpe. This year we wanted to do something a little bit different. So Andrew came up with the idea, and one or two of the others, to go from coast to coast. So we're going to leave Blackpool Pier and we're going to end up at Cleethorpes Pier. Andrew will tell you about that in a few moments. The whole idea is to raise money for the Wish Upon a Star Foundation and also for the Village Association. We then said, so what? That's been done before, great. Let's do something a little bit different. So we came up with the idea of taking British tractors, and we've got a super heritage, taking British tractors back to the factory where they were actually born. And there's quite a few of those factories on the route, believe it or not, from Blackpool to Cleethorpes. So that's what we're going to do, isn't it, Andrew?
Yep, yeah, we plan to leave Blackpool on the 28th of May, visit on the evening of that the Bristol Crawler factory, Earby. We're then going to go on to the Bradford factory, the IH factory at Bradford, which is now a Morrison supermarket. In that evening of Thursday, we'll go to David Brown, where we'll visit their Heritage Centre at Huddersfield, and then on to the IH factory on the Friday lunchtime at Doncaster, and finish up at the Marshall's Yard. Marshall's a good British Lincolnshire tractor manufacturer, for Friday evening, and then on to Barnaby Station on the Friday night, and then the Sunday morning, which is the most important day, the 10 tractors that's travelled across the country will run into Cleethorpes for 10 AM, where they'll meet all the existing tractors on the 11th road run on Cleethorpes Pier.
Now that must be an absolutely incredible sight to see.
Well, it's going to be wonderful. We think there's going to be 100 vintage tractors parked along Cleethorpes seafront, and we would appeal to everybody from Grimsby, Cleethorpes, the area, even as far away as the North Bank. If they're interested in old tractors and modern tractors as well, come along to Cleethorpes seafront, Sunday the 1st of June, between 9 and 11 o'clock. There's only a short window, but Cleethorpes Council have been absolutely wonderful. They're shutting the whole promenade.
Wow.
There won't be a site like this again. Come and see 100 tractors, and then they will leave on their way into Grainthorpe. But also what we're going to do, we're raising money for the Wish Upon a Star Foundation for terminally ill children. So yes, we want to raise money, and we need sponsors, please. But also what we're going to do is take some of those children and use the event as one of their Wish Upon a Star treats, if you want to call it that. So the whole thing's being rolled in together.
A day to remember for
Very
those
much so,
poorly
yeah.
children.
Yeah.
And it must be an absolute day to remember. It's such an opportunity, isn't it, to be able to see such a site and to be, because I understand that some of the children can go on the tractors as well.
Yeah, there's loads of children, I'm sure, that would love to ride on a tractor and trailer, and we hope to give them that opportunity on Sunday the 1st of June.
And I was asking you as well, do you think I'll be able to have a go?
I'm sure we can organise something.
I also think as well it's really good to show farming off in a good light.
Definitely.
All of us, Andrew, I, get our living from farming, and to show farming off in a positive light to people who maybe when they're following a tractor and getting a bit aggravated will just remember that it's all done in a good cause.
Yeah, it gives a lot of people a very enjoyable day, and if we can put a smile on some of those poorly children's face as well, that'll be a huge bonus for us all.
And when it comes to the time scale of this, how many days does this cover?
We're leaving on Wednesday the 28th of May, and we'll end on the 1st of June with the Tractor Road Run, ending at Grainthorpe playing fields for a lot of people to see.
Tell you what, it must be tiring driving a tractor all that way. Is it quite a feat?
It's going to be about 200 miles. We're expecting to do sort of between 40 and 60 miles a day.
Right.
We think we've done our calculations on averaging 8 miles an hour. So yes, it's going to be a pretty arduous task for the 10 people that's going to do it. And I'm sure that hopefully in June it'll be reasonably good weather, but I'm sure we'll encounter some rain on the way. But
if anybody would like some information, because that's the important thing, we need to get information out there. We have our own Facebook page, so if you just look up Grainthorpe, you should find it. And on that Facebook page there will be a link to our website, which we've just set up. But the title is a bit long to put over, so maybe Facebook's the quickest and easiest way. If people want to get involved, we need lots of help. If people want to get involved, have a look there, and then all the contact details are on the Facebook and web page.
And would you like volunteers possibly?
Well, volunteers and sponsorship. I mean, at the end of the day, all of the drivers are paying their own way, so none of it's going to be coming out of the charity money whatsoever. They're paying their own way. But obviously we want sponsors for things like fuel, accommodation and things like that. But most important, we want people. People have these tractors, they've taken a lot of loving care over restoring them. They want to show them off. So please come along to Grainthorpe Playing Field on Sunday the 1st of June in the afternoon.
And Cleethorpes Pier.
And Cleethorpes Pier.
Because there's a few different destinations that people can visit
yes,
to see this, isn't there?
Yeah.
So it'll be great. Most of all, we're going to have some fun.
I bet it'll be a lot of fun. I tell you what, I'm definitely going to come. I think it sounds absolutely fantastic.
We're going to hold you to
exciting.
that.
We'll look forward to seeing you on the seafront.
I don't know if I'll be very good at driving one, but I'll sit in one.
I'm sure we'll organise something for you.
And we'll have somebody there to film it, Erica, as well.
Oh, that's fantastic. Thank you for your time, gentlemen. I'll have to leave it there.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Well, if you have any stories that you would like to share with us, you can get in touch by phone on Grimsby 315561, write on our Facebook page or tweet us at Estuary TV or email us news@estuary.tv. That's it from Estuary TV News. Join us again tomorrow. Until then, from all of us, goodbye.